Hey, it's Kevin Long with the New Warehouse Podcast here at MODEX 2022. We are back in person, and this is the first interview of the week. I am joined by John Winter of Concentric. John is the Chief Operating Officer over there, and you may remember Concentric. We've had them on the show previously with Ryan Lynch talking about their material handling power offerings and how they provide those to our industry. So, John, welcome to the booth. Welcome to the show. You're actually my first in-person interview since MODEX 2020, actually.
Wow.
So, congratulations on that. I guess it's maybe
Special.
an honor, right?
It's special.
So, how are you doing, and how are you feeling to be back?
As I said earlier, it is just, you take these shows for granted. You take
Right.
the in-person interaction for granted. And it quickly reminds you when you're back and you feel the energy and excitement
Oh, yeah.
around the industry and just being with one another. So I'm doing great, excited about the week and excited to just spend time with various people in our industry.
Definitely. Well, happy that we could be your first stop this week.
right.
Thank you for that. So why don't you tell us a little bit about Concentric, what it is you guys do, and who do you serve in the industry?
Yep. So first I want to just compliment you on the fact that you have this podcast, and it's talking about things that really need to be talked about in our industry. There's still a lot of innovation, and the whole warehouse manufacturing, the whole supply chain piece needs a lot of attention, and I just compliment you on really your investment of your time and energy to bring this to really the mass public.
All right. I appreciate that, and I'll take it. It's a great way to start off the show.
So, Concentric, I'll just say this, a quick history lesson.
Sure.
Concentric is only been in existence for 5.5 years. However, the foundation of Concentric is a number of independent battery distributors across the nation that had been in business 20, 30, 40 years.
Right.
And that group of distributors came together to form Concentric, and we're still on the path of going through additional mergers and additional acquisitions where they join our organization. Right now we're approximately 800 people in most major markets across the nation. And as I get into it a little bit more, we try to bring a unique perspective to solving customer problems, and we see for today and what they will be, we think, for tomorrow, and certainly focused on the motive power space, helping guys with forklifts and moving product through various warehouses and manufacturing. So.
Gotcha. All right. So very cool. And obviously, in the material handling world, power is a thing. We need power. We're moving stuff around, right? So we need that power to get it going. And it's certainly been, a hot topic. I will say, actually, some of the most listened to episodes on the podcast actually have to do around batteries for forklifts and things like that nature. So, why do you think it's such a hot topic, and why do you think it's such an important thing right now to be discussing and bringing to the attention of those who are managing facilities and fleets?
Yeah. What I've seen, and of course I've been in this industry for 30 years, there was a lot of innovation for the last 20 years in the lift truck space. And lift trucks have moved, leap years from technology development in the last 20 years. There's what we saw in the lift truck space is now even accelerated in the power space. So for 100 plus years we've been powering lift trucks and powering lots of things with lead acid batteries. Now we've got the emergence of different chemistries, different ways, thin plate pure lead, those kind of things. And I think what you see is a hunger for the customer to learn and understand. Right. And so they want to understand, okay, am I making the right decision today, and where am I going to be tomorrow? And all that's kind of really sitting under the whole national conversation around energy management and what will become energy storage for really the nation and the globe, and then the overall focus on sustainability. So I just think that has created a lot of interest in power, and we're really excited about being in this space. We think we want to be part of that innovation, and we want to be part of helping solve problems and bring really new new innovative ways to manage power. So.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think it's a good spot to be in because, like you said, there's a lot of change going around, especially we look at just even our personal lives. We're looking at what can I do about getting rid of gasoline, right? Because it costs so much money right now. But and by the way, driving down from New Jersey, South Carolina was the cheapest, I would say, actually. So just a tip if you're heading back. Addressing these issues and helping customers understand, the different chemistries you mentioned, all these different things. I mean, obviously, we're working in warehouses and stuff like that. We're not chemistry majors here, right? So,
that's right.
So how do you guys, as Concentric, how do you help these customers kind of tackle the challenges and have a better understanding of what the right fit for their operation is?
So, I'll say this: being the largest independent distributor nationwide, and we're continuing to grow for both organically and through acquisitions. That is our specialty. That's our wheelhouse.
Right.
And certainly we partner with some of the largest, most innovative manufacturers in the country, like Intersys. But we are always got our eye on emerging chemistries and technologies, and we want to bring the right solution to our customer.
Yeah.
Many people want to talk about batteries, but you also have the emergence of hydrogen and what hydrogen is going to mean to power, electric vehicles. So, we have a team there that's fully engaged in learning all those chemistries and technologies and how they apply, so that when the customer comes to and says, okay, how am I going to solve this power problem? We try to partner with them, and we can get as deep as they want to get into the specifics of the chemistry or why you need to go. Lithium is a big all the rage right now.
Yeah.
We can go as deep as they want. But the first thing we do is we spend time. We don't just do a power study. We do what we term as an assessment, where we study the entire operation, productivity metrics, the behavior of the operators, the layout of the warehouse, and then we layer in a power study, and then we build a system that they can then deploy in their warehouse. Ultimately, what we're after, and we've got a program that it's kind of labels it called Guaranteed Power, but ultimately what we're trying to do is create where the customer no longer thinks about power. Just like if you were to go in your house, you flip the switch on, the light comes on, you hit the key in your car, the car takes off, right? There's no reason that you shouldn't have the same expectation of power. And so after we do all that assessment, we deploy it, and we manage it, and have a managed power experience for the entire life of the customer, entire life of the system. The idea is a customer to have really a zero downtime experience, and that's how we partner and solve it. And it may come through one chemistry, or it may come through a multitude of chemistries, depending on what's the best for the application, most cost effective for the customer.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting point there at the end, because you may be thinking like, oh, I'm going to switch my whole fleet to lithium, but in some cases maybe you only need to do a partial fleet or have different chemistries mixed in as well, like you just mentioned. And so it's interesting, you're talking about making it so that the customer doesn't really have to worry about it, which I think is a huge thing these days, especially with the speed at which we're operating. Fulfillment centers are just exploding, increasing headcount, all these different things. So we want to worry about the operations, right? We don't want to worry about our forklift battery. Why do we want to worry about it? That's not why we're coming to work, right? So it's good that you're pushing to get that as the industry, and for your customers to be able to, like you said, just walk in and the power works, right? So just like you said, I walk into the house and the power turns on. That's what you want. You want it to be available. You want it to work. So I think it's a great offering that you guys are having out there for the customer, and being able to bring that to them. So it's that ease of use, because we want to worry about getting the orders out the door. We don't want to worry about things breaking down, or why is this power not giving me the power that I need?
That's right.
Yeah, or why is it not the right power load for that? So very good thing that you're doing there. And one thing I think too as well, when we talk about the ease for the customers and certainly some struggles that they're having now, we look at things like forklift manufacturers and getting different types of products. A lot of the stuff that we see here at MODEX, lead times are are insane. I mean, I know personally for my other life, I was just trying to get some forklifts, and the lead time was 70 to 80 weeks. 70 to 80 weeks. That's insane, right? So, and part of the reason was the battery holdups as well. So how are you guys helping to alleviate some of those lead time struggles and helping customers to get equipment to themselves quicker so that they can utilize it and be more effective?
Yeah. So I'll say this. Today, it's going to give us a little snippet into what the future will hold.
Right.
As you know, with a lead acid battery, it's only got so much life in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's only got so many cycles. And yeah, you can rebuild it, but the capacity, unless you completely rebuild it, it doesn't come all the way back, right? So there are options with that to carry them through, but then there are options also to go ahead and replace the power, and replace the power with something that'll last the life of the next chassis.
Okay.
Carry over from the end of the first chassis and then carry to the second chassis, and build a program that'll do so and help the customer. I do want to come back to the point where we're talking about with chemistry and technologies.
Sure.
Lithium is all the craze, and we have deployed lots of lithium systems across the nation and have for the last couple of years. They're not just you plug them in and off you go, right?
Yeah.
Typically every installation requires some kind of a work and effort. But lithium is not the end, because if you consider the amount of energy and time and focus on batteries and energy storage, there'll be other chemistries come down the line, and it's our job, we see, to serve the customer base to bring all those emerging chemistries and technologies and take risk out of them, right? Because we need to be taking the risk out of, because you don't want to be the first guy on the block, because it may have a problem.
Right.
But, and so if you have an overlap with power replacement versus the overlap of the lift truck replacement, you need to have all those things on the table when you make that decision, right? And that's certainly our role to do so and help educate the customer to make the right decision. So hopefully I answered your question.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think it's a good point, because you want to cover all the different bases, like you said. It's not always as simple as just bringing the battery, and maybe there's some infrastructure change or something along those lines. So it's good that you guys are able to kind of bring all those different things together, and I think give the customer a clear picture, because I think a lot of times you see, and I've experienced it sometimes, where it's a company is offering you some type of solution, but they're not necessarily being as clear or giving that visibility into what does that fully entail, and then all of a sudden you're like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. You start to go, and then they're like, oh yeah, well now we got to do this and this and this, and you're kind of like, like what? And then you tell your boss, and your boss is like, you didn't tell me about that. And I'm like, well, they didn't tell me about that. So when you get the full picture up front, I mean, I think it's a great thing. So the fact that you guys are able to bring all these different things together and give a full plan for the customer, I think is certainly a key, and a great thing that you guys are doing at Concentric. So.
Make one more point.
Sure. Yeah.
So if we do our job right, the customer forgets about us. Yeah. What I don't want to be is just like one of my teenage girls. When they get an iPhone, the first thing they want is a brand new one, because the battery stops working in a year and a half, right?
Right. Yeah.
So we don't want to have that experience. We want that to last the full term of whatever it is that we've laid out, and the customer just forgets about us. Yeah. They turn the light switch on, and off they go to work.
Absolutely, and I think that's the key is the ease of use and less headaches, certainly for our operations managers. All right, so John, I want to thank you so much for coming by the booth today. First one for this week at MODEX 2022. So if people want to find out more information about Concentric, how can they do that?
Yeah, just go to our website, concentricusa.com.
All right, great. We'll put all that information at thenewarehouse.com as well. So John, thank you once again for coming by the booth today.
Enjoyed it. Thank you so much, Kevin.